I made this channel mostly because I wanted to start reviewing video games and talking about them more often with video in the background. I know I put a lot of Let's Play content on here, but really that's another part of the channel that I want. I want to show people the gameplay of these games. A lot of people just give out reviews and have some trailers for the games, but I want to have legitimate reviews. And a lot of the times in those reviews, you don't get a good feel for what the games are really like just because someone tells you what they're like. So I decided to put up gameplay along with my first impressions and reviews. Now the first game that I chose to review was mostly because they have a second game in the series coming out in a few days. Zeno Clash. Now, before I actually went into this game, I heard a lot of good things about it. You don't really see many first-person brawlers at all, and there's a reason for it. Most people can't really make these work. But I heard Zeno Clash was one of the ones that actually worked. Now my first problem came when I went into the menu and looked around for the difficulty settings. I wanted to put it on normal or hard, depending on how it worked. When I got to the difficulties, all it said there was easy. They hit less. Normal. They hit normal. Hard. They hit hard. I hate this type of difficulty. I don't like games that just go, you know what, we're not going to make the AI more difficult, we're just going to make them hit you harder. You're going to hit them less hard. That's where the difficulty comes from, is fucking endurance. I don't like those style of difficulty choices. And that's what this game offers up for difficulty. The next thing that I really didn't like about this game came in the form of a simplistic combat. The combat is done by holding down the buttons. You don't press the buttons for every punch you want to do, you just hold it down. I really do not like the way that this feels while playing the game. It makes it feel simplistic. It's hard for me to exactly describe it, but holding down a button and you just throwing punches, that doesn't feel right. I would have rather had the game throw a right punch and a left punch depending on which button you clicked. And depending on how long you held it down for was the strength of the punch. That way I could have made my own combos. That would have made the game feel so much better in my opinion, but they don't go for that. They go for a simplistic combat system. And then, during the simplistic combat, they also tie different actions to the buttons you're pressing. Like the soft punch button, if you're looking down, kicks. I don't like the way that feels. I would rather have a button specifically meant for kicking. Now in the tutorial, the first thing that you do is you kick some chickens. Now this should be a prelude to how bad the hitboxes in this game are, because hitting the chickens is actually difficult. Not because they're running around, but because you think you're lined up for it, but you aren't. And this goes on into combat later in the game, where you think you're out of the way for people, but you're not. You're going to get hit by these motherfuckers, and that is a very big mark against the game in my opinion. You're obviously far enough away that you shouldn't be hit by their attacks, yet you're still being hit by their attacks. This really leads to a breaking of immersion in the game. Because I'd rather have the punch go off to my side, I don't see it, and then I react to it. But no, the punch happens right in front of my face, and it looks like it doesn't even hit me. It looks like it misses by quite a fucking large margin, but it still hits me. There have been times I was 2 or 3 body lengths away from somebody, and they still hit me. This is most prevalent whenever they do a special attack, or whenever the bigger enemies in the game do that rush attack. You'll think you're out of the way, but you'll still get hit by them. I didn't notice it too much early on, but there's another mechanic in this game that's a lock-on feature. Now, in a third-person game, a lock-on feature is actually very good. It helps you a lot. But in a first-person game, You should be judging the distance by how far away they are from you. You shouldn't be relying on a lock-on feature to get you close enough and get you away fast enough. In the later parts of the game, it became far more obvious the lock-on feature was actually hindering my combat style in the game, to the point where it frustrated me during one of the fights and I was just cursing out the goddamn lock-on feature. Now, something I didn't actually realize was in this game: guns. This game doesn't even do guns very well. Sure, they're there. Yes, they fire. Yes, they kind of work. But the guns have a very, very poor feel to them. You never really feel like you're firing a gun. You feel like you're firing a pea shooter. The gun's reload in this game also fails, because the moment that you're 95% of the way reloaded and you get grazed by the side with a bullet, or you just barely take a punch, reload is fucked. You have to retry it again. And this gets very, very frustrating with guns that have one bullet, but they have a long reload time. Overall, the guns feel like they were tacked on as a last-minute thing to pad out the length of some of the sections in the game. They really don't feel like they were there from day one. Even though the combat, the hand-to-hand stuff, doesn't feel great, at multiple points in the game, I stopped using the hand-to-hand combat to use the guns, and they feel like crap, but they were more effective than actually fighting with my fists. That is a bad thing in a game that is a first-person brawler. This happened more than once in the game, but probably the one shining example of it was the boat ride after you get this guy from I don't even know what it is, a ruin that you have to light on fire? Anyways, you're in this boat. You can't do anything. There's no dialogue going on for most of the ride, and you're shooting these things off at the side that are throwing rocks at you. And this scene goes on for fucking ever. And it's not even a great scene. It is boring as hell. I wanted it to be over faster than it was, but it just kept going on and on and on. And there are multiple parts in the game that are like this, but that is the one worst part for this. There are long segments of just boring in this game, where a part is locked off because your partner isn't opening the door until some scripted event is already done. I do not like that. Overall in this game, there is very little dialogue, but the thing that actually makes it worse is what little dialogue there actually is doesn't make much sense. The main character and the main girl in this game are so poorly defined, I can't even tell what the hell they are to each other. Are they brother and sister? Are they boyfriend-girlfriend? What the hell are they? And why is she sticking with somebody who's being chased and trying to be killed? If they are brother and sister, what the hell made her go for him? Now, this isn't going into spoiler right here, but later on in the game they do define exactly what the hell they are to each other, but the whole rest of the game, I don't understand what the hell they were supposed to be to each other or why she was even there. And to make matters even worse, this game does something that I believe everybody who plays video games despises. It has the cliffhanger ending. And it's not like other games like Halo 1 and 2, where Halo 2 just cut off right when you thought shit was picking up. No, this game here decides to cut off mid-fucking sentence, mid-fucking explanation as to what the hell's going on. The whole rest of the game made no sense and everything was about to make sense right there. But no, cliffhanger ending. I hated that more than you can possibly imagine. And if I bought this game and I played it when it was brand fucking new, I'd have been pissed. And to add insult to injury right here, they never programmed in a return to the main menu after the credits of this game. So you might think there's something at the end of the game, some little video, some little bit of dialogue that will explain what the hell's going on or feed you just a little bit more. But no, it's wind and black. And depending on how long your patience is, you'll be sitting there wondering what the fuck is going on. After a while, I alt-tabbed out and I googled it, just to see if there was some kind of a bug or if that was it. And I found out that it's known that this game ends on a black screen. That's insult to injury considering the ending, because somebody who's patient might have sat there for several minutes waiting. To top it all off, the game, and even when I was failing while playing the game on normal, only lasted me a little under 3 hours. I didn't go into the challenge mode for this game because that really has to do more with the combat, and I didn't enjoy the combat while I was playing the game. I'm not going into a mode devoted just to people who like the combat for the game. That might have added another hour or two to it, but I can't see it lasting longer than the actual game. And now for the $1,000,000 question. What do I think of this game, and should I recommend it to anybody? Now here's the thing. This game routinely goes on sale for 75% off to 95% off. I value my time at $5 should get me 2 hours of solid entertainment. And at $10 for the game? Fuck no, I can't recommend this even if it was great, just because it falls under my time requirement. However, this game goes on sale for 75% to 90% off routinely. If I am remembering right, I bought this game for $1. That means that I only needed 24 minutes of solid entertainment, and I believe I got that kind of from this game. I can't recommend it at full price. I can barely recommend this game at half price. But if you find it at its 75 to 90% off, and you like first-person combat, and you kind of want to see a weird story play out in a weird world with a weird art style, you might want to pick this game up. Even after all my gripes with the game, I can't say $1 is too much for it.